You wake up in an asylum, an undead one, confused yet slowly filling up with curiosity to explore this unfamiliar place. You then hear a voice. They explain a certain dark sign that gets branded upon undead, in which the undead would go north to be locked away and wait for the supposed end of the world. Your first thought would be a horrifying one that sends dread running into your whole entire body, but it doesn't matter to anyone else, because this is your fate, one that has been built in from the past long ago. But within this dark space, while you're dreading your fate, a light shines upon you, revealing a knight who would then drop you a key. He gives you an alternative. He gives you a way to refuse your fate and refuse the laws that would bind it. And of course, your one thought that comes in as quick as a heartbeat would be to defy your destiny and overcome it. The start of a journey of you crossing paths with many unpredictable events would begin here and lead you to something more than awaiting the end of the world, and would help you gain a feeling other than dread. Dark Souls 1 is something that introduced me to the Soulsborne series. It was the first From Software game I had played, and man, can I tell you, I hated it. I hated every bit of it. The combat, the difficulty, the confusing world that somehow leads to every location. Everything was just so bizarre to me, and I hated it. I think I had stopped playing it a couple of times, but of course curiosity had always led me back into the harsh world of Dark Souls. And with me getting back into this world, I started to like it a bit more each time I came back. Of course the bosses pissed me off, especially that Capra demon. Damn, that Capra demon hurt me. And of course the world still felt pretty weird, but that's how I came to love it. I started to adapt to it. The bosses, my playstyle, me getting through the large world. I started to slowly adapt to everything in this game, and I love how it forced me to. Obviously at first I hated the difficulty of it, but I'm sure everyone else did, and I'm also sure everyone else felt determined to adapt to this world as well. It's a harsh and punishing game, and that's exactly the reason why it had such a big impact on me out of every game I had played up to that point. It affected me way differently, and the relationship I had with it only became better once I quote unquote, wait for it, got good. I'm sure everyone who had played any of the Souls games and actually tried to get help on how to defeat that one annoying boss got held comments like get good every time they looked on something like Reddit for help. And I'm sure every time they saw that phrase they got pissed off even more, and I can say I did as well. But looking at that phrase now, after beating every boss, I can say that you indeed have to get good to play this game. You really have to adapt and adjust to the new playstyle. Be better than you were on each go. Be better than yourself an hour ago, even a minute ago. Get good and you'll find yourself loving the game even more. That's exactly what I had gone through, and that's why I came to hold this series in such high regards after completing the games. It's a game that thrusts you into many uncertainties and also helps you to overcome them. I love this style, and I also love how it's implemented in every Soulsborne game. I've been talking about all of this now in the context of my experience with Dark Souls 1, but Bloodborne also gave me a similar experience as well, and I can say that it basically strangled me as much as Dark Souls 1 did. Actually, forget about that. Every game in the series did the same thing. They each gave me something new, and I love the fact about that. They're not just repeats of the same game even if they're from the same series. They're different and each give you a new experience that would strongly tear you to shreds nevertheless. They all don't disappoint in the end as well, which is crazy. FromSoft literally never misses when creating these games. And I'm sure they won't miss on the next one, Elden Ring, that is coming soon. May it be combat, the atmosphere, music and bosses, it all works so well in these games, and I can only wonder how it ticks all the boxes in each game. Even if you get that one or a few bosses that, well, basically suck, they're extremely overshadowed by a couple of more bosses that impact upon you greatly, with not just the grand and majestic music playing, but the harsh playstyle they have and entertaining and fun ways to counter said playstyle. Alright, now let me point a few things that I love about my two favorite games from the Soulsborne series. For Bloodborne, I love the atmosphere and aesthetic that it has. It's gothic at first, but it slowly starts to make you open your eyes to see the true nature of the horrid and tragic world you're in. Even then, I love the gothic aesthetic that it has. It's very different from the other Soulsborne games that consist of knights in armor and fire-breathing dragons. For Bloodborne, you have slick attire that looks light and easy to move in, perfect for the fast-paced combat that this game brings you. The gothic type uniform is also perfect for the setting you're in. You're brought into a world of horror, Blood-craving creatures are everywhere and it's a very uneasy setting. You're frightened. You have nothing but the knowledge of a hunter. You hunt these beasts using the skills that have been infused into you, and you only have weapons that are used to hunt those specific beasts. But what you don't know is the huge path that leads into something more larger than just blood-hungry monsters. A world of Lovecraftian horror makes its way into your view, and it's a very unsettling one at that. I feel like Bloodborne's core and major theme is basically fear itself. It strongly relies on this, and it does a perfect job at making you feel uneasy. The unsettling atmosphere that is built into this game is something I'll never forget, and the experience that I've had with it was probably my favorite out of any of the Soulsborne games. It's just so unique, and the transition from gothic towns to alien creatures known as Great Ones is a smooth one, and it doesn't feel like you've changed to a different game. Why? Because it keeps that core theme that it has consistent, and the lore that it has as well ties both sides together, making it such an understandable yet shocking twist in the game. I just love how Bloodborne is crafted, and the aesthetic plus combat is a major thing that I loved about it. Just like Dark Souls 1, it teaches you to adapt to the world switch and the new bosses that come your way. Also, it has that one boss that is just annoying and really irritating. For me, it was Lawrence the First Vicar. I saw it every time, and I mean every time I went up against him, I never got close to beating him, always dying as soon as he hit the second phase. That, I can tell you, wasn't a good experience. I'm lucky though, at least I was good at taking care of Orphan, of course. My second favorite would be tied with Dark Souls 3 and Dark Souls 1. I had already explained my experiences with Dark Souls 1 at the start of the video, but what I love about it is how the world is so interconnected. The environment that you're thrown into and made to explore has all sorts of paths that can lead you to so many different important locations. They all can serve as shortcuts as well, which is really cool. It's so surprising how at some later points of the game you find out that the location you're in now actually connects back to an earlier location that you were in around the start of the game. It's just so crazy, and I love that feature about this game. Like, you can go from a land of dragons to a freaking ghost town. Top notch. That's just it. The level designs are something to talk about as well, because man, they're good. Many designs look really appealing to the eye and just makes you so invested into exploring them. Anor Londo especially, what a location, they even got the hardest boss in there. Alright, so Dark Souls 3 for me easily has the best bosses in the series. The designs, movement, and of course the music is all top notch for the bosses in this game. Each of their lore as well has some compelling writing put into it, which just makes it all the more appealing to get into. Some of my favorite bosses in the game would be Twin Princes, Slave Knight Gale, Midir, and the Soul of Cinder. There are many more amazing ones that could be said, which just tells you how much of a good boss loadout it has. All in all, the Soulsborne series is basically my favorite video game franchise of all time. Its consistent games that keep giving you amazing new experiences and intriguing lore just ticks all the boxes for what my favorite series should be, and it takes it. I'm also really hyped for Elden Ring as well, which is FromSoft's next game and coming early next year, so I'm excited for what they bring into it. Hopefully you enjoyed something new on the channel, and if you're also a Soulsborne fan, put your favorite game in the series in the comments below. I'd be glad to see what it is. Now, like always, subscribe if you haven't, hit the like button, turn on bell notifications, and follow my Twitter down below. It's been Endless Requiem, peace.